All right, here we go. So, look, you know what's going on, and I'm not going to spoon feed you the information. Big censorship campaign. Yeah, woohoo. Wait, there's a few things going on right now. There's a lot of talk about what to do about the situation. I'm just going to make my opinion pretty quick because, quite frankly, I don't really want to make any videos right now for any platform, but that's just me. I think it just feels weird because YouTube has managed to be a kind of real hub, a real square of the internet for so many years, and watching it kind of turn into just another shitty website has been kind of frustrating. It's weird to see this as an American because I kind of was always spoon fed the lie that the US was innately free speech. I'd say it was about as free speech as any other goddamn democratic country, to be honest. In my experience, America was always kind of half and half, but as for whether I believe YouTube will go on with this, there are plans to boycott and leave the platform. There are plans to move resources elsewhere. Even if the companies who've been pushing this actually do start asking YouTube not to, I have doubts whether YouTube actually will back off. I saw this happen with Twitch where after having years and years of large amounts of different creators on the platform, they've kind of since moved into having a handful of bigger creators. And that's where YouTube clearly wants to go. They want to go from having hundreds of thousands of creators of all sorts of different niches and types to having maybe a few thousand. It's not good, obviously, but it's what they want. And this is just a convenient way to do it. And for us smaller creator types, I think it would be smarter to start diversifying. The only reason we really didn't isn't because the option wasn't there, but again, this is where everyone was, and that's same reason people stayed on Twitter. I don't like Twitter, and I never used it, but I do understand that there are still communities intact on those platforms because they're still physically there. When Tumblr was the first to kick off all of its creators and its NSFW purge, it kind of tainted the rest of the internet. So this further mammoth is not going to really help anything. And for the few creators who have no blood on their hand, it's just going to hurt them where it doesn't need to. All right, that's enough of this paperclip. I want to use this little cat guy from Off. Did you know this guy is a metaphor for cancer? I mentioned in my streaming video that the reason I stuck with YouTube all these years, along with then paying YouTube Premium, was because all my stuff was on YouTube, and I bought it mostly so I could watch Smiling Friends, and then I just kind of stuck around with it. That's how it used to be. I actually lowered my membership around early 2025 to just for YouTube Music, since that's what I used. And if I'm going to be honest, I haven't really been watching YouTube as much as I used to. I'd go as far to say there was an entire week at the very end of July where I just straight up wasn't using it at all. And while I was using other platforms, the one thing YouTube does have is a lot of smaller names that are fun to kind of surf through, especially on YouTube Music. But I don't really know if I want to keep giving money to this company anymore. I don't know. Boycotts are a lot bigger than just not going to one specific place. And the difficulty is there have to be other pressure points in order to attack these giant companies. I mean, Google is kind of too big, and even then there was still a lot of good that could be done on YouTube and Twitter, even for as god-awful as they can get. For me personally, I'm currently eyeing Dailymotion. Odyssey looks okay with its old YouTube vibe, but it's one of those decentralized, all free speech platforms, and I mean, you could think of what you want. I'm thinking of Kick. I just assume this platform is going to be a lot of Aiden Ross clones. So I'm going to go to Dailymotion because setting up shop in an abandoned parking lot sounds fun. I'm probably going to move my streaming to Tidal. If I'm lucky, I'll move all my playlists and such, but I'm not optimistic. I know a lot of music isn't available on Tidal, or at least that's how it used to be. It seems to have gotten better. It's ethically better than YouTube Music, but again, a lot of very obscure artists were on YouTube Music, so while I won't be paying for it, I will be keeping an eye on which albums are only available on that platform. But again, not optimistic. Hopefully they're on SoundCloud. Really, the big thing is just kind of moving on to other platforms, and that's kind of going to be difficult and take a long time. I'm actually pretty optimistic it's going to hurt YouTube, but I think it's going to hurt them in a way they can't recover from. YouTube's ad choice to put ads absolutely everywhere is actually kind of a repeat of something that happened in the 2010s internet. With ad block coming back into effect, ad curators would just send as much ads to the few who tolerated them until they either stopped going on the website or got an ad block. And honestly, the ads YouTube show me are pretty disgusting, so Yeah, I'm using AdBlock on this fucking service. I'm a little nervous to say that because I don't want this video to get taken down, but I'm also like, even me saying that should clue you in this platform's a little done. It's a downward spiral they would have to really work out of. As for this channel, well, I had plans for August to be a big month. I called it August Accolades. I really wanted to talk about a lot of the most precious projects, and I got one goddamn video out of 5. I'm not really in the mood to make videos. I've just been really tired and stressed out these past few days, past few weeks, if I'm going to be honest. It's been a lot of hell, a lot of hectic, frantic running around and getting lost, trying to get work after I got fired from my last fucking job. So I'm really nervous about the future. So I'm not really going to make those. If you're curious, those videos would have been the first albums I ever listened to. Tool's 10,000 Days, since it was one of my first favorite albums. Iridescence by Brockhampton was my first hip-hop album. And Daughters, You Won't Get What You Want, since it would have been a pretty important album in my lineup, but would have been really difficult to talk about. But if I'm going to be honest, I'm absolutely not going to make any of them. I'm just not really in the mood. Right now, I will eventually move my stuff to Dailymotion. I will be moving today, and I will be doing whatever slacktivism is worthy, but right now I'm mostly focusing on myself and getting by. So to the folks who stuck with me on this channel, all 15 of you, to the 300 or so subscribers who've come to this channel, thanks. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the negative comments, the fussiness. It was fun while it lasted, but I think it's smart for all of us to maybe get off this platform.